Jason Earls, and this is my brother,
Jared Kiddoe,
a
man.
comedian and a psychiatrist, walking to a church.
Walk into a church, man.
Creating a safe place for us to talk about the stuff that everybody deals with.
Exactly.
And so the other thing is, I'm just gonna start recording conversation.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I heard one person say this, man, like a family's kid got arrested. We're talking hurt in church. That's what we're talking.
Yes.
So
Hurt in church, yep.
So man, so this family, one kid got arrested. And so a family, one woman called the mother of the kid and said, "Hey, I know you're going through a rough time and I know you're embarrassed, but one thing you need to know from me is I will not gossip about you. I will not tell different things. I just want you to know I'm here. And if anybody comes to me and talk to me about it, I'm just going to tell them to reach out to you."
Right. Oh, that's great. That's great.
So
great.
Yeah. So I feel like that's what I need to do for my friend.
Yes.
Like, yes. This happened. Just know I don't even need to know the full story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need, just know I'm here. And if anybody in the community comes to me to talk about it, I'm going to defer them back to you. You don't have to worry about me talking about you.
Right.
Because I just think, all right, so I'll reset by telling everybody. I know I already told you this, but one thing our church did was we brought some real live sheep at our church. Doing a series is talking about sheep. These sheep got out. Well, one of the sheep got out, ran through the neighborhood. My son and I went and got, and in our new vehicle, we had to put the sheep, and the sheep crapped in our vehicle. And I knew that part of when I chased after the sheep, I knew I had to put them in the vehicle, and I didn't think twice. Nevertheless, I thought about how stinky sheep is, and how if you're gonna have sheep, you have to understand that there will be a stench involved, and there will be some crap involved. And when that happened, I'm like, this is what the church should be. The church should be a safe place where you can come and bring your crap. That's actually why this podcast, this video cast
exists. This is why we exist. This is why we exist.
So you can talk about your crap, your hurt.
And listen, man, that is such a powerful example, because you're right. Like sheep are when the Bible talks about sheep being wayward, they really are. Right? They are so wayward, and they're not that smart, right? So they're trying to get themselves into all sorts of trouble. They have no business getting into that trouble. They don't know how to get themselves out of that trouble. And if left to their own devices, they will die. Like they will just end up in a situation where they just get themselves killed. Like they need somebody to look out for them. And I think like the church needs to be a place where people, as you said, can come and talk about their stuff, because we were talking about this earlier. Like one of the things people do at church a lot is edit themselves.
Yeah.
Like they edit. There's a version of themselves that they bring to church. And I'm not talking about like people just being hypocrites. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people feeling unsafe talking about their real stuff.
Yeah.
Because they don't know if church is the place for that. Which is the saddest thing in the world, because it's like, if you're the body of Christ, this should be the one place you should feel like, if there's one place, like, hey, I can go and talk about my messy stuff. Not like, well, sometimes like, I don't tip enough money. Okay, yes, you should tip enough money. We're not talking about that. That's how we talk. We're talking about like, like I'm really struggling with pornography. Or I'm really struggling with knowing how to get along with my wife, because we just keep arguing all the time, and no matter what I do or what we do, it doesn't seem to fix anything. I'm really struggling with my son or my daughter, who's like, I'm trying to reach them, but we just have this wall between us and I can't seem to get them, and we're always arguing about stuff like that. We need to be able to bring up at church, because we need help. Like the body is supposed to support each other. That's what the Bible talks about. It's like we service each other's needs. That's what we're supposed to do. So how are you going to service each other's needs if you're editing yourself all the time because you don't feel like you can bring your needs to church?
And so let's use me. Let's go back.
Yes.
Because I want to share a real life example that I was just sharing you before we started recording this. So everybody watching, so of course, this is, a comedian and a psychiatrist walking to a church. And so I'm the comedian, but also I'm also on church staff. And so my church staff position gave me an opportunity. I talk and lead a lot of people. And I had one particular session that broke my heart. It broke my heart to the point of tears on the way home. In fact, before I left the church, our church have a drive-through prayer. So I stopped, told the drive-through prayer, like, people pray for me. I just had a tough session. They prayed for me. In the midst, man, I was just, I was brought to tears as I'm going home. So I'm like, man, this was so rough. Let me get it off of me before I walk into the house. I walk to the house.
We're gonna put that in the parking lot right there. That's the first thing we're putting in the parking lot. Keep going.
Right. Right.
Keep going.
Yeah. So, but as I try to leave it outside the house, I walk. My 16-year-old son, well, now 17-year-old son, meets me at the door and hugs me. And what broke my heart about the session that I just had was about a broken family, a kid and a father having difficulty. And I look at my son, who's safe, who's healthy, and he hugs me. And I'm almost brought to pieces. So I hurry up and go into the kitchen with my wife, who's in the pantry at that time, cooking dinner. She's getting something out the pantry to put in the food. And I just grabbed her shoulder and put my head in and started crying. My wife, whose dad was just in the hospital, and my parents just had some health challenges, she automatically thinks that one of our parents died. So she panicked. She was like, wait, what? As I'm making myself vulnerable.
Yeah.
And go to lean on her, she panicked and just started asking questions like she need to know what's happening. And I'm like, I don't have a shoulder to lean on. As I went, that shoulder was taken away.
Right.
And she's asking all these questions. I was like, I had a rough day. Then she started asking, like, what happened? And I was like, you know what? I shouldn't have brought her home. My bad. And so, but
man,
the psychiatrist in the building was telling me that I actually did the right thing.
Yeah, man, listen, man. That's one of the things, the big thing I would say about that situation, man. First, I would say, I'm sorry that happened, because one of the things people don't realize about being a pastor or being in ministry in general is that this idea of vicarious trauma, right? Where, like, you are being exposed to people in ministry are being exposed to people who are really hurting.
Yeah.
People and families and couples who are really hurting, individuals who are really hurting. And a lot of them bring trauma to the table. And so now that trauma, now you're trying to help them to deal with that trauma, but you're being exposed to that trauma.
Yeah.
Which means that you are getting partial effects of it, but you're doing this every day. So this stuff really accumulates. So, like, we really have to understand that people who are in ministry, like, carry a huge emotional load because of the vicarious trauma they're having, where they're like, man, you're telling me this really sad story is actually affecting me, and now I have to deal with that myself.
Indeed.
So what you just said about your wife, man, like, because I see this, because one of the things that we do, my wife and I, we work with couples all the time. That's like what our main thing is. And one of the things that we try to do is, like, whenever we're offering services, that we try to scholarship people who are in the ministry in.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like, if you're in a ministry and we're doing this coaching group, you don't have to pay for this. We're going to scholarship you in. Right. Because we feel like the church needs that. That's our way of giving back. We think that's so important.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons why we do that is because of what I said, the trauma. But one of the other things that happens, going back to what you just said, is that a lot of times, whoever it is that is in ministry, but it's a woman or a man that's in ministry, when they come home, a lot of times they feel like they have to, like what you said before, you stopped in the car, you're at the house, it's like, okay, I got to clean myself up before I go inside of the house, right? I'm not saying you do that all the time. I'm just saying that that's what I hear.
Which I don't. What's crazy is this was the first time that I tried to do that.
Right. Yes, because you don't strike me like you're somebody who does that regularly.
Right.
But it's a great point because I know a lot of preachers who do that all the time.
Yeah.
Right. Where they're like, I don't want to burden my spouse with what's going on at church. So I try to hide things. And so I'm carrying all of this stress by myself.
Right.
And so you think you're protecting your spouse, but ultimately what you end up doing is hurting yourself. Yeah. Because we're not meant to carry those things alone. Like trauma like that, we can't carry that alone.
Right.
And then there is a level of connection that happens with your partner when you can talk to them about things like that. Yeah. That you're going to miss. So your level of intimacy may be here, but you want to go deep with your intimacy with your spouse.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
And when you hide parts of yourself, you can't. So you stay up here. You may stay nice and friendly and chipper, right? But you're not really deep. So you're not connecting. And then, no, guess what? Your wife is like, hey, I feel like I don't really know you.
Yeah.
But how is she going to know you if you're hiding parts of yourself, right? And what you mentioned, secondly, about, hey, you went in for that hug, which is the converse. You went for that hug and she kind of was like panicking. Yeah. Is one of the reasons why, hey, you may not want to do it because you're like, if you don't react the right way, I'm going to be more scared.
Right.
Share it next time. Or like, hey, let me clean this up. So that's why it's messy. That's why it's hard. It's not like, oh, just be vulnerable. Like, this takes practice. You really have to keep doing it, right?
Yeah, you know what I thought about? I thought about, and the way my wife and I's relationship is, like that stuff happened, and we're talking about it, talk through it. Here's what happened, and we get over that stuff. But I thought about the man who doesn't have that, or who doesn't even have the emotional IQ or fortitude. Man. Not to go and be vulnerable. Yes. Or when he tried to be vulnerable and he's hurt. I heard one pastor say this: when a man tries to be vulnerable and he gets hurt, you can forget him being vulnerable again.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Shut that thing down, man.
Yeah.
Lock up shop.
Right.
Everybody go home.
New business.
Grand opening, grand closing, man. That the whole thing. We are done, right? Grand opening, grand closing, man. Like, listen, we ain't doing that again.
Absolutely.
Man, listen, and that's the thing, man, because at the man, like, okay, we men, we pretend like we're not emotional beings. Right. But I want to tell you right now, if you don't listen to anything I say this whole day, listen to me when I say this. That is a lie from the pit of hell.
Absolutely,
that is Satan operating there, because men are equally as emotional as women.
That is Satan's attempt. That is Satan's attempt to short circuit.
Yes.
Men.
Yes. Dehumanize us. Right. So we buy into the lie of dehumanization. So we think of ourselves as being a version of humanity where it's like, well, yeah, God, I'm made in God's image just like my wife, but I really don't have the emotions like my wife.
Yeah.
Like, no, like you may not express it the same way. Yes. But you feel the hurt, you feel the sadness, you feel the shame, you feel everything your wife feels. You feel it. It's just that you learn to stuff it at a young age. Yeah. Because oftentimes as men, especially Black men, that's what we're taught to do. Stuff your emotions, right? So now, as you're talking about like men who are like, they feel like kind of like numb all the time and flat all the time, right? They don't know how to talk about stuff because that side of them was told to be like, if you're a man, having these difficult emotions and different emotions is not something you need to have. You just need to stuff those things away. And so what that means is that now you don't even have the ability to talk about those things because you don't even know when you're feeling them anymore.
Yeah.
You develop this thing called what I call emotional anorexia. Where you don't even, like, anorexics can get so skinny because they don't even feel hungry anymore. They stop feeling hungry. But their bodies is like, I still need to eat.
Yeah.
But they're like, but I don't feel hungry. Emotional, that's what happens to a lot of men. I still need emotional connection and expression, but I don't know it because I can't feel it anymore. So now, how can you then be vulnerable with anybody?
Right.
If you don't even know what you're feeling.
So good, brother.
It's tough, so man. Good. It's tough because a lot of men are in that situation, man.
Yeah. So you used the word editing yourself. And you used it just a few moments ago, but then you used it when we were talking. And this is everybody, this is what I shared with them. So after this over, I told my wife, I was like, you know what, I shouldn't have brought it home. Let me go outside. And so I went outside and just you know, just trying to like just thinking through it. Of course, my wife came outside like, "Yo, you know," so they talk to me, what's going on? Yeah. And I was like, "Man, it was just a rough day." Wait, so fast forward, we're at the dinner table, and I'm leading the dinner table conversation, and the question was, what I asked, what was the most uplifting thing that happened to you today? And so everybody's going around sharing their most uplifting thing. It got to me, but it's supposed to be uplifting, so I shared something uplifting. I was like, but let me tell y'all this as well. And I'm telling my family what happened. And I started crying at the dinner table.
Ah, man.
Just the dynamics of what I was dealing with that day, y'all. It took me there, man. I was just heartbroken. Yeah. And I'm crying. And then I said, again, I'm starting to edit myself because I'm like, whenever I emote at the house, I never apologize for it. Like, I'm a man. I don't mind crying. And I don't mind showing my excitement, you know. So, but I started crying, and I said, "My bad, y'all. I didn't want to bring this to the house." And my son said, "You're supposed to bring it to the church." And then my wife said, "This is the family, not the church." And then my son said, "The family is the church."
Oh man, that's some theology right there, man.
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
And then my wife started saying, "Hey, you got to bring that stuff to me." And I was like, "Hey, I don't need lectures right now."
Yeah.
I just want to tell y'all how I'm feeling. And that kind of, you know, that put everybody on notice. You know, it kind of hurt my wife. You know, the kids were like, "Man, what's going on with you, Dad?" And I'm like, "Yo." So anyway, but that's when Dr. Jared said, "Hey," he said, "Man, you got to do that. You did the right thing because you cannot edit yourself."
Yes. Listen, man. Listen. Gosh, man. Like, and we could do 10 podcasts, man, on like what has happened with the church and our understanding of emotions and how to deal with people's emotions. Because, and I mean, I grew up in the church, so like I understand why this happens, but we have developed, and I'm not talking about your specific situation. I'm just kind of taking some cues from you. We have developed a form of theology where we don't understand how to deal with emotions anymore. We spiritualize emotions, right? We spiritualize emotions. So it's like, you know, the whole people say, "I'm too blessed to be stressed" kind of stuff, right? It's like, well, God has been so good to me. Like, there's nothing for me to feel sad about. There's nothing for me to be worried, to feel anxious about. Like, all of those things are now, because I'm not a Christian, God has taken those things away from me.
Yeah.
But that is one of the most unbiblical teachings you'll ever find.
You know, as a comedian, that has some depth to me. People feel free. Sometimes if I go to a church, they'll come and just drop something on me, and they'll tell me, they'll say like, "You know what?" And I felt like cussing the folks or harming the person.
Yes.
You know what I tell them? I said, you should have felt like that. And
right. Yes.
And I said, because if you didn't, I would say you needed help.
Yes. Yes. Listen, man. Listen. Listen. What? I was talking to my wife about this recently. Like, that's why things like imprecatory prayers exist.
Yes.
So imprecatory prayers, to look at some of those things, those prayers in Psalms, man.
Yeah.
Where like, listen, dude is praying like, "Hey, may his children be fatherless, right? May their children be beggars. May no one help them," right? Like, that is hey, listen, man. The Bible says, singing and making melody in the hearts, right?
Yeah.
Singing psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs, right? Like, hey, are imprecatory prayers one of those? Because imagine you go to the church, right?
Yeah.
And they're singing about, "Hey, I pray, dear God, you make these children fatherless," right? And you make these children beggars, right? So, like, because he didn't give any exceptions, right? He's like, hey, Psalms, hymns, and spiritual song. You just go there, you sing it.
Oh, that's so good, bro.
Listen, man.
It's okay to pray a diss track.
Man, you are taking your heart to God. This is what you're feeling. And I think that's the thing. We edit even how we talk to God. It's like, hey, God wants this cleaned up version of me that doesn't get mad, that is not really upset with somebody or very sad or even mad at God. Like, when you see certain scriptures, it's like these psalmists and lamentations are right. Like, hey, God, when Jesus says, hey, my God, why have you forsaken me? He is quoting Old Testament scripture.
Yes, sir.
Right? Which means that, listen, somebody felt that way before.
Yeah.
I was looking straight at God. Is like, where are you? Like, I'm looking for you and I don't see you. Which means that he was angry with God. He's like, if my person who's supposed to be there for me is not there, I'm like, where were you when I needed you?
Absolutely.
And so God doesn't want us to edit ourselves with him. And we have to, I mean, and I want to say this really quickly. I don't want to say that, hey, you just tell everybody at church what's going on with you, right? But you should be able to go to some people at church and tell them what's really going on with you without editing yourself. And if you're mad, it's like, I was so mad at this person, or I was so hurt by this, or whatever it is. You don't try to spiritualize it. Spiritualizing it doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah, dude, that is if you like you said, if you edit yourself, nobody gets the true version of you.
Yes, they're getting a version of you. They're not getting you.
Yeah.
They're not getting you. And when they don't get you, then guess what? That's how you can go to church for 20 years and have no deep relationships. Intimacy is required for building deep relationships. And intimacy requires not just the nice parts of like, oh, I'm so grateful for this person. They were so helpful and they're so kind. They were there for me. It's like, I was really hurt by this person. I was really hurt by you when you said this. I was really mad at you when you said this.
Yeah.
Right? I felt abandoned by you. Like, saying stuff like that is the stuff that has to happen so you can repair things. And when you don't repair things, you can't go deeper. Because one of the big things, and I'm going to leave this nugget too, when you don't forgive people of stuff, when you don't have the conversation to try to forgive somebody, you are preventing your relationship from repairing and going to a next level of deepness. Because when people hurt you, it sucks, but it also gives you the opportunity to repair things. And when you repair things, let me tell you, Peter loved Jesus more after Jesus asked him, hey, Peter, do you love me?
Yes,
right?
Sir.
I asked him 3 times to the point where Peter was hurt. Like, of course, I love you, God. You know, I love you, Jesus, right? But he needed that conversation to take things to a deeper level because there was that betrayal that happened. And they needed to address it, right?
Yeah.
And when he was able to address it, Peter's love in terms of depth went way down more because it went to a different level now, because it wasn't just, hey, guess what? I love you when things are going well. Jesus revealed himself to say, listen, I'm loving you when you betrayed me to my face. And I forgive you. Right? And so now imagine now the level of grace that Peter felt in his life probably going forward. Like, listen, man, like there's nothing I can do that's going to stop God from loving me. Because I literally, none of us had done that where we literally to Jesus's face betrayed Jesus.
Right.
But Peter did. And the rest of the disciples were out. Right? All of it. And it wasn't like Jesus was like, hey, listen, man, y'all slipped up. So guess what? We started fresh.
Right.
New disciples, new apostles. Y'all on the outs, because when I needed y'all were out. I ain't messing with y'all no more. We starting this thing over. We ain't doing none of this. Y'all can kick rocks, right? Like,
oh, that's so great.
That's not what Jesus did. He repaired it. But you can't repair things with people unless you know you're hurt. A lot of times we hide our stuff. We stuff it down. I'm all right. It's not a big deal. I'm going to keep it moving.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like, man. We could do 10 podcasts.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna stop right here to let everybody soak that in.
Yeah.
Stop editing yourselves.
Yes.
Be vulnerable. Be real with your emotions. That it's ungodly to not be real.
Yes. Say that again, man. I don't think they heard you. Say that again. You need to say that.
It is ungodly to not be real.
Oh man, that's it, man.
Stop saying you take too blessed to be stressed out of your vocabulary.
Oh man, yeah.
In fact, sometimes you're more blessed when you can express how much stress you have.
Yes. Yes. And when you express your stress, you're blessing somebody else.
That's it.
Because they're seeing you and it's like, man, you're being real. That means you're giving me the permission to be real.
Yeah. So I'll leave this is gonna be my last word, and I'll let you speak after it. So after I had this rough day and got vulnerable for my family and actually told everybody I didn't need to lecture. The next day I got some bad news about a personal friend, ministry friend of mine. And when I came to the house, I called the family together and I said, hey, y'all, we got in late that night. And I was like, listen, yesterday I gave y'all some tough news. It was just a rough day. Today I got some even more bad news. And I explained what happened to my friend. And I explained to them how messed up I was about it. And everybody got quiet. And then I looked at my wife and I said, what are your thoughts? My 17-year-old started laughing, as teenagers do when they just don't. He was like, Dad. He was like, that don't make sense. Yesterday, when we tried to respond, you said you don't need a lecture. Today, you explained something, and then you asked Mom what her thoughts were. I said, you don't get it, son. When somebody tells you something, your response should be not to say anything, but just in order to let the person know that you're there. Yeah. If they want you to say something, that's they ask for permission. They give you permission to say something. Until when somebody's dropping something on you, if they don't want to hear your opinion, they're not going to ask for it.
Yes. Yes.
And so you don't offer your opinion.
Yes.
But when somebody expresses their hurt and they need you to speak into it, then they will ask you to speak into it. What you saw me yesterday was telling everybody I didn't want y'all to speak into it.
Yes.
What you saw tonight was me giving permission to say, hey, I'm hurting. Now I want y'all to speak into it.
And what you did there was that you blessed your family, right? Because what you did, especially your kids, is like you taught them a really important lesson. We are emotionally complex beings, right?
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be surprised. We're made in the image of God, right? Which means that God is the most complex being that has ever been, right? And ever will be. And we are made in his image, which means that we carry some of that complexity ourselves, which means we are going to need different things at different times. And that's okay. It is okay to need different things at different times. And it's okay to ask for those different things boldly, not even like, boldly, like especially with people you're connected to, because that's what the definition of deep relationship is being able to ask for things like that. So that was a big blessing you put on your family, because one, obviously it shows that even you, it's like with Jesus in the garden, it's like, hey, Jesus doesn't need anything from anybody, but he needed his disciples to pray with him when he was in the garden. Right. So you are showing this example of what a man should be like. Hey, when you are a godly man, it doesn't make you needless. It means that you know what your needs are. That's one of the things. And you know how to healthily ask for those needs to be met.
Right.
That's the difference between a man and somebody who's immature, who's like doing all sorts of crazy stuff to get their needs met. You're doing it in a healthy way. And you're mirroring that for your kids. You're like, hey, I'm the man of the house and I have needs. Right. So that was a big blessing right there. And what you didn't do, which is going back to what we went before, you didn't edit yourself.
Yeah. So good.
You asked for what you needed, which is amazing, man. That's amazing. Thanks for sharing that, man. I think what you just shared is the kind of stuff people need to hear all the time, especially from their leaders, because I think sometimes people get it twisted about what it means to be a leader. And while you're saying what you're saying, you're redefining what leadership is, especially in the church for a lot of people. So thank you for sharing that, man.
Appreciate especially the Black church.
Oh, gosh, man. Oh, gosh, man. Hey, that's another 10 podcasts right there, man. Like, that's a lot of, we can take it to another level right here, man. There's all sorts of stuff there, man.
Absolutely. So y'all tune in next time for Edit Part 2.
Yes, sir.